Hello and welcome to the Paranormal Nut Podcast. I'm Sean. That's Jim. And today we have a special guest with us. Author, content creator, paranormal enthusiast, and host of local Necromancer's Coffee Break, Wrenna Stone.
Hey, it's nice to meet you guys. I'm Wrenna. I've been in the podcast game for give or take maybe 2 months now, and having a blast with it.
Still probably better than us.
Yeah.
And we got a special treat. We have a new intro before we actually jump into the show. Jim, you want to hit it?
Oh my God.
Say demon?
Yeah.
Was that you suffocating Jim? Oh, Jesus!
Picturing like a bird cage right now. No, I grabbed my fucking neck. Seriously? Yeah. Oh! Something just grabbed my backpack. Yeah. You just moved that ball?
Is there anything inhuman down here?
I think you're growling.
Yeah. I love that intro too much. That's probably the 100th time I've watched it. Shout out to Kevin McCauley who did the music for us. Thank you so much. Check him out on all of his stuff. But
Why do I feel like Scooby-Doo in that? Like everything bad happened to me in this video.
there was like one thing,
like twice. The ball moved.
I just that nice growl at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just ghosts like you or hate you more. I don't know. We're still on the fence about it.
It's like every place we go to, I'm always getting grabbed. I'm always getting pushed. Something.
Yeah. That's I love that intro. We're gonna throw it on every single episode or thing we do nowadays. But show's not about us. It's about Wrenna and relatively new to the paranormal podcasting world. But you've been an author for how long now? I know you got a couple books out there.
Oh yeah. My first novel, Vision, it came out in 2023, but I've actually been writing for about 14 years now.
14. Wow.
That's a long time.
I don't think I've done anything for 14 years.
I don't think I've dedicated my life to anything that long.
Exactly. That's impressive. So you're self-publishing these books, and what does that even mean these days? I don't even know. Can you walk me through what self-publishing even looks like?
Oh yeah. Self-publishing versus traditional publishing now is actually a lot closer to each other than it used to be way back in the day. It used to be traditional publishing was the only way to get your books in bookstores. It was the only way to really get professional covers, professional editing, the whole works. And with self-publishing, you were just kind of thrown at the sharks on your own and do your best. Nowadays, with self-publishing, you have access to everything. You have ways of getting your books into your normal brick and mortar bookstores like Barnes and Noble. You can get professional covers, professional editors. There's pretty much the only difference between the two is one helps you a little more with marketing. The other one, you're on your own, but you have a little more control over your works.
It's almost like Spotify with artists these days, like music artists. Like you can just anybody could really upload their music onto, or like they changed it to more like the SoundCloud used to be. Where you just upload your music and just put it up.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely know all about self-publishing as far as self-promoting, really. We don't publish on YouTube, but it can be very, very cutthroat out there, and you put out something you've worked really hard on, and then like you just hear crickets or somebody commenting on something. I don't know. Hopefully you haven't experienced that. Hopefully everything's going wonderful for you, but
yes, surprisingly debut actually went a lot better than I thought, and then we're just kind of riding it out from there. I mean, I've done YouTube channels actually in the past for
Oh.
gaming and had a completely different outcome than to what I've had with paranormal. So I think it's all like some of it's luck of the algorithm, some of it's
All
knowing
right.
what they're doing.
What's your favorite game?
Oh, I would say my favorite is the Evil Within series.
Evil. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, sounds familiar. I don't think I've played it, but
No, I've seen it on Steam.
Well, let's talk about the local Necromancer's coffee break. This is your actual podcast hosted by yourself, and from what I take, it's kind of a vlog series of you. I mean, doing whatever you want essentially, but telling a lot of stories. And what inspired you to kind of create a paranormal podcast, I guess?
Definitely just the innate need to be able to ramble on about paranormal as long as I want without weird looks or people getting bored. And then I decided to turn it into a little more of a variety show where, each week is a little bit different because my brain doesn't work linear, so I have to have room for all my deviation. And it just kind of exploded into okay, today we're going to do like experiences of viewers. Today I'm going to talk about like the time that I saw someone floating on the ceiling, or okay, now we're going to talk about like haunted American history. Or it's just kind of fun. You never really know what's going to happen.
Do you ever like dive into cryptids or like extraterrestrials? Okay.
Oh yeah, I love me some cryptids. They're
Mhm.
probably one of my favorites. I've recently gotten a little more into the extraterrestrial side, and I'm like, I think this is going to be my next nice deep dive.
It is certainly a deep dive. You might not come out, especially with everything going on with UAPs and.
And have you seen that release of the it's that egg-shaped UAP that they recovered on what was that channel? Is it England? It was in England, and they released the recovery of the actual like egg-shaped UAP getting airlifted with a helo.
Yeah, I've seen a few clips of it, and I'm like, oh, is this a rabbit hole I want to go down today? And I keep putting it off, and I'm like, eventually I'm gonna fall down a rabbit hole, and nobody's
Well,
gonna see me for like
let's
3
Go
weeks.
on now.
Let me tell you, I've been down that rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
I made a video. Well, it was another like egg-shaped like artifact, and it was a thread on 4chan that somebody posted, and they posted images of this like it was egg shaped. They had like the whole like setting in the cave, and I did my due diligence. I took all the images, I lined them up, lined up to the stalagmite in the cave, and everything, crazy enough, actually lined up perfectly. Like it wasn't, so it kind of took away from, oh, this is just AI generated, but there could still be like props, hoax, kind of thing like that. But when they also in the thread they talked about that there was actual like a biological like extraterrestrial that like woke up from a pod and like started communicating with them like telepathically, and it was from the Nordic extent or species of aliens. But
I'm
we'll
not
continue.
100% sold on it myself, but it is interesting. It gets crazy, but so I guess everyone kind of has their various stories that get them into the paranormal field. Do you have what got you to kind of be a paranormal content creator, a paranormal author, and just where you are today, I guess? Was there a pivotal moment or something?
I'd almost like to say I was born with it in a way. I lost my dad when I was a baby. And so I always, growing up, I wanted to believe like there's something more out there. There's still a way to communicate. And then when I was like 2, 3 years old, I got into Scooby-Doo, which just it kind of fuels that a little more. Then you get into all the
Where we
ghost
all
hunting
started,
shows. Yep, the ghost hunting shows, your traditional ones. At Halloween, they'd air like, okay, we're going to do the roads of, this section of this state. And they'd go through like the creepiest, most haunted roads. And I'd sit there at like 5 years old watching these every Halloween. Got older, got into Supernatural. And then it seemed like every single location that I was in for any length of time, whether it was a place that I worked, place I hang out, it felt like they were all haunted. And they all liked to show themselves around me. And so eventually I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to take a note from my old buddy Scooby-Doo, and I'm going to see what comes of this. So lo and behold, every time there's something. I cannot escape to a single place that's not haunted. And over the years, I'm like, I got to make this my thing now. It's just it's things that are stranger than fiction. So as an author, it's like, okay, I can use these for books, and everybody's gonna think it's wild, and it's things have happened.
It's just your life experience. That's all.
Yep.
Yep. I do notice a lot in this field. Like sometimes it's just the people are haunted, which sounds very bad, but like you can. I know a lot of people that I've hung out with, especially Jim's one of them, where there's probably ghosts hanging out with Jim everywhere we go. So I try to like go over there, Jim. I need to go. Everyone go haunt Jim. Don't haunt me.
We have some great experiences even with that because it's turned into paranormal investigating becoming a family affair. So we could have 3 family members in the same room, all running different equipment, and like my mom, for example, would get all kinds of extremely hostile, volatile things across her spirit boxes, and then they'll come over to me and be like, "Be my friend," or vice versa, depending on which spirit we're talking about. But
it's like Penhurst.
Yeah.
Sean got what did
they called me rude? They called me a nerd, and then like hanging out with Jim, like, "What up?" I'm
Yo, what up, bro?
Yeah, the other night we're sitting there and a ghost was like trying to be my friend, and then my mom was like, "So, can you tell us something about you?" And it literally just came back and said, "Fuck you." And I'm like,
"Yep."
Well, they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I've been called a lot of things that we can't air on YouTube, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll just cut that out." But yeah, it's very interesting how a lot of spirits choose to interact. But I do want to get to one story that you told me while we were kind of planning this. You said that you somehow got a YouTuber possibly haunted. Please don't do that to us. Well, do it to Jim at least.
Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I joke around a lot with Steve and Dylan from Haunted Nights channel, and we had a little bit of a running joke where Steve was sending out some merch bundles, and I said, well, if you send your attachment, Christopher Bradwell, to me, I'm going to send one of the ghosts from my house back to you. And lo and behold, we get the name Christopher in one of our investigations. So I'm like, you little shit. So I jokingly sit down with the spirit talker one night, and I'm like, I can't remember how it got going. And I'm like, yeah, just go touch Steve. I think it'd be hilarious. And it says, how can I do that? So I'm like, well, here's, generally where he is. And, this is kind of what he looks like. And then it came up and it's like, Smith? No, we're talking about Steve. We'll go touch Steve. And not even an hour later, he hops on Discord and he's like, yeah, something just tugged on my sleeve in my home office and I don't know what happened.
Oh, wow.
So I somehow got Steve brought haunted.
Yeah, awesome. I actually way back in the day, back when I was doing Haunted Upstate, which a lot of people love and know, and it's a treasure. We actually had an unaired episode on Skeen Manor, and at the time, I don't think Haunted Nights was even a thing. But so I think they were South Glens Falls Paranormal. I don't know. I should probably I know enough people who know him, and I've talked to him before, so I should probably just give him a call and just be like, hey, you remember this? But anyway, so I call Steve and I set up an interview. I send my camera guy. I never went out to actually go meet him. Actually, I sent a guy named Steve. But so we filmed that, and then like a couple of years down the line, I'm seeing Haunted Nights. Everyone like, that's Steve. I know Steve. But yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah. Steve's kind of in the same area as I am, the whole Haunted Nights crew. But I guess my next question for you would be, what would be your dream paranormal location to investigate?
Oh, 100% the Winchester Manor. That is my number one bucket list location. I've been interested in that place since I was a kid because in school, I was homeschooled just because of like some health things and some anxiety. And so my mom found out that the best way to teach me history was that if there was something haunted tied to a very historical event, I would eat it up. So we ended up learning about the Winchester Manor, and I've been fascinated with it since I was a kid. So that's my number one. And then I think my second would definitely be the Crescent Hotel for a very specific reason. And that is because I learned that Norman Baker has 2 dogs that haunt the location as well. And they are his St. Bernards, of which I am a very avid St. Bernard owner. So I want to go meet the ghost St. Bernards.
I mean, you gotta, right? I love ghost animals. They're cooler than ghost people. Which, obviously people or animals are just cooler than people. So check us out.
I thought all dogs go to heaven, though.
Well, they can come down and play.
Some go to the Crescent.
Yeah, they can come chill.
Exactly. Yeah. So obviously, I love the Winchester man. We've done an episode on the podcast about it, and it's on my dream location. Have you ever seen the movie with the same guy in Stranger Things?
Yes,
Not the best movie,
so
but
good.
I love it. It's
Yeah, it was one I went as soon as it came out in theaters. I ran to go see that one.
I love it. Spoiler alert. They blow up the mansion at the end, and it's just like it's a giant CGI mansion, and it looks so fake. I'm like, yeah. I was like, obviously you're not gonna blow up the Winchester Manor, but it was just funny. It took me out of it, but it was a pretty decent movie. I liked it.
I'm just talking about the story behind it. How can you be so rich that you're running away from ghosts that you remodel every day so you can hide from the ghosts?
Oh,
that's just
you sell
insane
guns
to me.
in America. That's how.
Shit rich people do.
Yeah.
Wild.
Exactly. So, do you have any role models in the paranormal field, the YouTube space, or authors in general?
Oh yeah, I definitely for paranormal, I mean, Audit Nights for sure. They're kind of the first YouTubers I actually got to know a little bit. I will say Chris and Selena and Sam and Colby were kind of the ones that got me involved in paranormal on YouTube, because until that point, I didn't actually realize there was a paranormal community on YouTube yet. I was still watching stuff just, Travel Channel, Discovery Channel. And then I found this whole new world on YouTube of, oh
Yeah.
my God, there's other people out here like me.
It's almost too many of us at this point.
Yeah.
Can't keep up with all the
I
videos.
I love those guys now. I'm like, they're all super fun. And then I think I also love the crazy humor of Dan and Phil, which definitely shows which generation I'm in for YouTube. And then for writing, there's way too many to count, but I got to go with my good old ancestor, Edgar Allan Poe. He's great.
Ancestor, are you related to Edgar Allan Poe?
I am, surprisingly. On one side of my family, I'm related to him.
That's awesome.
Is it? I don't know. No, obviously it's pretty cool. But no, that I don't want to say that explains a lot, but
Oh, it does.
Do you have any advice? Well, I normally ask this question to people who've been doing it for a while, because it's like, what advice would you give your younger self? But you just kind of started YouTubing recently. But I guess, what advice would you give to the younger author, Wrenna, not opposed to, but what advice would you give your younger self in that sense?
Definitely to stop being so hard on myself, because I've definitely found over the years that I can pour 1,000 hours into something that gets 0 views. I can put 10 minutes into something that's just for fun, just for me. It does really well. So I've tried to find this happy medium ground of like, okay, what do I find that's really fun? What do I really enjoy? And how can I make it the best that it can be without, going so perfectionist that I lose the fun in it. So that's something I wish I'd known, both for writing and then also for YouTube, even just a couple months ago when I started.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I don't think I've even learned that lesson yet. Just sit there. No, I need to make it perfect. Sit there for an hour working on just a 5-second clip, making it great, but then no one watches
intros.
it.
Like a 30-second intro takes like 3 hours to make.
But sometimes you get in the zone and you just wing it. You do like 5 minutes worth of work, and Jim will put together a 5-minute meme, and next thing you know, that meme's 13,000 views or whatever.
It actually happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like literally, I'll be on the toilet just making a CapCut meme. Like, We spend hours making this other like video of our hunt. The CapCut meme does better. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I recently had that with one that I did that was like it's like at 7,000 views now, and I'm like it's just a goofy writing meme to the "Do You Like Waffles" song. I'm like, okay, I think that's the key to
I
YouTube
did
is the
see
waffle
that
song.
one. Yeah. Yeah, you never know what takes off, and you just enjoy it when it happens, and then just don't hate on it when it doesn't happen, I suppose. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the book it's not out yet, I believe, but you have done some dramatic readings of it, which was very interesting, and I think you have a talent for that you might want to just jump into as well. But Echoes of Moths. Echo of Moth. Sorry, I keep calling it Echoes of Moth, which is just me being dyslexic. But so I guess I'll let you obviously jump into it. But I believe I've heard you describe it in in a post, maybe I don't know, as an Appalachian horror. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was very heavily influenced by the recent resurgence in the last couple of years and all of the legends of the Appalachian Mountains. Because growing up where I lived in a little different mountain range or forest range, I should say, and we had a lot of very similar stories and tales. And I figured, oh, this is just a local thing. Then grow up, find out there's this whole Appalachian Trail that has very similar hauntings that go well beyond what we ever had. And I went down probably a month-long deep dive of the of the legends, and I'm like, I gotta write about this. So I kind of combined everything into one, fictionalized a little more of it, and came up with this wild story about these woods that are quite literally alive with something we don't quite understand. And it spawned a horror novel that I never even knew I could write. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I believe it's the first chapter you do a reading on your channel, and if you just go watch that, and if it doesn't sell you, nothing will sell you on anything ever. But it's so atmospherically, you really capture that kind of something is just beyond your peripherals, watching you the entire time kind of vibe, and I can just get in chills thinking about it. But I really enjoyed it. If you do intend to do a full audiobook of it or something like that, I will buy it. I will listen to it, and yeah, Jim, you have to listen to it. I know you didn't get a chance to, but
I'll listen to it.
So, yeah, Echo of Moths. When do you expect to release it? I guess.
The full novel I'm expecting to release around Halloween this year, and then periodically throughout the year, I'm
Can't
going to be
wait that
dropping
long.
more chapters on the
Okay.
audio drama side. Yep.
All right, awesome. I'll have that to look forward to. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna move into the next section of the show, which is our paranormal reacts, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you want to call it. Just I scoured the internet for 3 videos I think were appropriate for today, and we're gonna take a look at those and kind of give our, ultimate opinion of authority on the matter. So, the first one I want to bring up, not much context given to it, but I do believe it is very apropos to a lot of what we've been talking to. So I will add it to the stage now. Ooh, this is very small. There is no sound, but there seems to be a figure walking back and forth on a ring. And I'm sorry that it's not that big and it's hard to see, but
Is that a lady in white?
it's so I've looked at it on a big monitor when it wasn't like on this screen, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't double check this, and maybe I'll edit in post and make it big for everyone. But it looks more like not a not a skinwalker, but what do you call those? It's like the walkers or whatever, where it's like they're just legs, but they look like almost like pantaloons.
Oh,
Yeah.
aren't they seen that over in California a lot?
Yeah, somewhere in where's it? It's
Oh, Manteca. Is it Manteca or Fresno?
Fresno. I want to say Fresno. Yeah, that sounds
Fresno
right.
Nightcrawlers.
Yes, the Fresno Nightcrawler. See,
Yes.
that's what that looks like to me. Hopefully, I can make it better for everyone else watching. And you can't get too much out of the video. It just walks back and forth on the edge of the wood line, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect for exactly what we were talking about today. But I don't know. It's easy to fake, but sure is creepy. What do you think, Jim?
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is the way it moves in the background is just like methodical. Like it's just a way not natural. It's not a natural movement that you would see a human making.
What do you think, Wrenna? What's your opinions on this? I'll play it again. Maybe get some.
It's definitely it gives me flashbacks to when I used to work at a movie theater and once caught an apparition on our night vision camera in one of our theaters. It reminds me eerily enough of that, especially the way it moves. So it's like I'm apt to believe this one.
Ooh, I think I believe something's definitely there on camera. I don't think someone like CGI'd it. The only problem I have is with technology, people can actually just get robots that walk now, and you can throw a sheet on it. But it's very reflective, and I want to say there's something definitely there. I don't know if it's an apparition though. I feel like apparitions would be too hard to see and would be, more see-through, but definitely something's in frame. Going back to your theater, but I'm a firm believer that every single theater is haunted. It's just
Oh yeah. I worked between two different locations of our thing, and both of them were very, very, very haunted.
I don't know what it is about theaters. Maybe it's the music, or maybe it's, I don't know, the energy put into the plays or something. But every theater I've been to, everyone's like, "Yeah, it's haunted."
They're always old too. Like I mean, most of the time they're like, "What?" I mean, it's one of the main sources of entertainment for like years.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's I got a picture of the Fresno Nightcrawler.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's what they look
Perfect. That's exactly what that looks like, and I know it might have been hard to see, but it just was walking. See, this was back like, what was this, early 2000s? I think the Fresno Nightcrawlers started popping up.
Yeah,
back before like you really had too much CGI, and before you had like the robotics capability to make.
I mean, that thing looked like
it
was taking a picture with a Nokia brick.
Well, it probably was. I'm glad you got that picture.
The razor
that
flip
brings back, that's like childhood memory unlocked right there. Was it on the episode of Ripley's Believe It or Not? We were talking about like shows earlier, like what got you into paranormal. That one with Riker there. That was one of my definite shows I would watch where I'd be like, I believed everything because I was like 9 at the time or whatever. I'm like, that's true, and they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh, well, now I feel like an idiot. All right, we're gonna move to the next one. This one does have some sounds, so let me make sure everything is situated.
Oh my god.
Did you see it?
Yeah, where did it go?
It's full.
So very quick. And you just
play it again.
I'll play it again. I'll play it again.
See it. Oh, no.
Did you see it?
Back window.
Yeah, where did it go?
It's full.
I love, so before we jump into it, what we think, I love the idea that 2 security guards are sitting there, and the one guy's like, look, I saw it. I know I saw something. Kind of, he's bringing that kind of energy, and I love it, and I'm here for it. And, but yeah, let me play it again one time.
Oh my god.
Did you see it?
Yeah, where did it go?
You see it?
It's full.
But
It's fallen.
yeah, so there's definitely like a white mass that kind of just like apparates, almost
just dust.
Like almost. Well, so you do see. I want to maybe, but like you do see
No,
at
you see
one
almost
point-
like a body to it when it's
It's full.
Well, yeah. So you do kind of see afterwards what
It's
would
full.
probably be more like an orb right there, which is probably just dust.
It's full.
But I don't know. I think there's just too much
my
like
God.
mass
Did you
to
see
that.
it?
Those
Yeah, where did
two
it go?
and that third one.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, the other ones might have been dust, but the big one definitely was not dust. It was.
Mhm.
It
Had
looks like
almost
it was
more
actually
shape
something.
to it, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
and it looked like there was something moving in the back too, like in
Oh.
the behind the glass.
Mhm.
Like I
Like-
saw like a white figure.
I may have missed this when I first watched this.
Yeah, you see it. You see it in the back there.
Yeah, it's at the same time that kind of falls.
It almost like it went in there and like turned into something.
Ooh, hold on. So yeah, I can kind of see like you're focusing on that thing by the window, and then yeah, what what happens there? Wait, what's going on with this?
What is even that?
That's there the whole time.
I need Da Vinci now.
I don't know. I think
Actually-
that might.
Photoshop. I take it in there, take a screenshot of that, and then I just change
Oh
the
my God.
contrast.
Did you see it?
Yeah, where did it go?
Okay, so that's what they were talking about. I thought they were just talking about the orbs. Wow.
Wait, there was something else?
I'm talking about the orbs.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that thing just disappear in the back?
No, I see it in the back. I thought you were
Yeah,
when they
I didn't
because you
see
said it
that.
when they zoomed in on the
Yeah.
looked like the copy machine or
When I
whatever.
first
Oh my
watched this,
God.
I didn't even
Did
see
you
that
see it?
change.
Yeah,
That's
where did it go?
interesting.
It's full.
Shows you how good of a paranormal investigator I am. That's wow. Okay, I mean that puts a lot more credence to what's going on here. I'm gonna say it's probably something's going on
Mhm.
there. Yeah. What do you think, Jim? Real, fake?
Oh, it looks like it would be real to me. I mean, like, well, I mean, we look at videos all the time, and we can always decipher from dust to
Yeah.
what an actual wisp or a orb looks like. You know, that looked like it was an actual orb going through.
And then you have something else in the background, kind of just
Yeah, it looks like
being
something
manipulated.
forms in the back after
Yeah.
it flies through.
What are your eyes telling you, Rena?
Yeah, I definitely would be inclined to believe that's an orb because you
Oh my
you
God.
definitely see
Did
like
you-
that black duck down at the same time this orb comes down. It's almost like it bats it out of the way.
Yeah,
It's definitely with two things coming together. I would
Oh
say
my
that's
God.
some good
Did you-
evidence there.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. Like not redundancy, but what's I'm blanking on the word here, but like two simultaneous things happening at once, where it's like, okay, one of those things by itself, sure, that can maybe happen.
yeah.
Two things going on. That's what
Well,
we like.
it's like when you set up more than one piece of equipment, and it's more justifiable when more than one thing's going off
Mhm.
at once. And then it can be like, okay, something is happening.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the next clip I have here has some lore to it, if you will. I don't want to say lore necessarily, but the story given with it is that this is the same night that the person's grandma passed away. So give that context before I show it here.
Front loading.
Yeah, sorry. See, this is very interesting because depth is key here. My eyes are trying to figure out where it is, how close to the camera, and how far it is. That's in the clip, and
You can
I'm
roll
just
out lens
baffled.
flare because the camera's not moving.
The camera's
Mhm.
not moving. There's no moving sources of light.
But the only thing I could say that would be against it would be like a laser pointer or something.
You hold a laser pointer. It's not that steady. Maybe if you had it like mounted on something, but
Yeah.
my first inclination at the beginning is this just looks like a bug comes in the frame. Maybe like a spider walking on, like a web, because it's not darting around. You can see the IR reflection off of like bugs every once in a while flying by like right there and there. But this thing, it's solid. It's not darting away.
And it leaves a
And then
trail behind it.
yeah, and it kind of leaves an after trail. And then when it starts moving away, like once it gets to the road, it does seem to be smaller. So I don't think it's just moving along this um like this two-dimensional plane where like a web or something would be. It seems to be actually moving with depth.
It's sentient.
Yeah, it does seem to have some form of sentience with its movement. I mean, off chance that that's like ball lightning, which I never really like people say is a thing that happens, but I've yet to see something and I go, oh, that's actually legit ball lightning, swamp gas or,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm completely undecided because I'm kind of mad that the clip stops, but as a ring camera, if it doesn't detect movement after a certain it's probably out of its detection range.
Yeah.
So that adds more credence to depth. But I think you can also have it set up where like once it detects movement, you get like 30 seconds of a clip and then it will stop. So it might just be initially caught it and then stopped afterwards. I don't know. Very interesting indeed.
It's a nice Ford truck he has there.
I mean, also true. Is that a
Go
Ford?
start
I
hanging
can't
around the
tell.
truck.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because it comes down and it looks like it checks out the mailbox. And if you were a ghost reliving your life, you would probably like you drive home, you get home, and then you go check your mailbox, but then it wanders off. So that kind of defeats that kind of train of thought. I don't know. What are you thinking, Jim?
Yeah, it's hard. It's. I don't think it's a bug because a bug moves a lot. Like you saw like the bugs that were in there. It was just like this is actually like it's actually moving slowly, like but with like purpose almost. I don't know. Like as I say, could be a laser pointer, but I'm not saying that's that's the only thing in my defense. I
You
would
heard it
say.
here. Laser pointer, nothing else. No.
No, I don't know. I think it could be something. I'm just saying it could be a laser pointer too. I mean, with somebody with a very steady hand, like surgeon hands.
And what are you thinking, Rena? What's your final decree on this one?
Oh, it's tripping me up because the depth on it is almost too
Right?
good. Like it's definitely got that movement of depth. The only thing that's tripping me up is as it moves, like it's got that little bit of like a stutter to
Yeah.
it compared to the bugs that are coming through. It's almost like a mechanical stutter.
Yeah.
Or surgeon hands. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. It is. For me, I'm going to have to say there's definitely, I think it's paranormal. I think there's something there that's not a bug and not a laser pointer. So my will
But
be
you
done.
don't believe the Arctic alien, buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Oh, I meant to hide the clip in Jim. Yeah, you heard me. Yeah, you get down there. No, before we wrap it up, I was doing an outro. Before we wrap it up, where can everyone find you, Rena?
You can find me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is just Wrenna Stone. On YouTube Music and Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts, I'm there under the local Necromancer's Coffee Break. And then you can also find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Wrenna Stone.
Perfect.
And
Again,
we'll have the link in the bio for you guys.
we will do. Vision's out now. Echoes of Moth soon to be out in October timeframe. We'll see. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Paranormal Nut Podcast. Stay tuned. Stay crazy.